Let's talk about that feeling. You know the one. You're trying so hard to get ahead, to build a better financial future, but your bank account seems to have other plans.
Right? You peek at your balance, it sighs, you sigh, and you both just agree to not talk about it. We've all been there. And for so many of us, the answer seems to be the side hustle.
The internet is just packed with people promising you can make thousands of dollars overnight. But what's the real story? Which hustles are actually worth your precious time and which are just, well, a waste of time? That's the question we're digging into today.
So, to cut through all that noise, all the hype, I decided to run a little experiment. I wanted to find the truth for myself. No theories, no gurus, just results. I actually put in the hours, I tracked every single dollar to give you the real data and the lessons I learned the hard way so you don't have to.
All right, let's dive in. We're going to break down all 5 hustles, looking at the time I invested, the actual money I made, and the surprising reality of each one.
First up, the one you see absolutely everywhere, food delivery. You know how it works. You sign up for an app, you accept an order, and you use your own car to bring people their food. It's about as straightforward as it gets.
And this right here shows you the most important lesson, the difference between what you earn and what you keep. 60 hours of work brought in over $1,000, which sounds fantastic. But once you subtract expenses like gas, my net profit was closer to $870. That brings the real hourly rate to about $14.50.
And this really lays out the trade-offs, doesn't it? The pros are huge. I mean, you can literally start tomorrow and work whenever you want. But the cons are just as real. Those expenses eat into your profit. The income can be all over the place, and honestly, it can be pretty tough on your body and your car.
So here's the bottom line. If you need cash right now to cover an unexpected bill, food delivery is a fantastic option. Think of it like a plant that sprouts really fast. It gives you something immediately, but you have to keep watering it all the time to get anything more out of it.
Okay, next up, freelance writing. This is where you take a skill you already have and turn it into cash. I use platforms like Upwork to find clients who needed things like blog posts or website content written. Now, when you see that $15 an hour rate, you gotta know it's a little deceptive. A huge chunk of those 40 hours wasn't paid work. It was unpaid time building my portfolio, sending proposals, and trying to land clients. The rate for the actual work I did was much, much higher. And that's really the whole story here, isn't it? The potential to earn a really high income is massive, and you can do it from literally anywhere with a laptop. But the start is slow, you're competing against a lot of other people, and you have to be your own boss, which takes a ton of self-discipline. This hustle is all about playing the long game. It's an investment of your time up front to build a skill and a list of clients that can pay off big time for years and years. All right, let's talk about what seems like the easiest hustle of them all. Online surveys. The idea is simple, right? You turn your downtime into money by answering questions or doing these tiny little digital tasks for companies. So, the numbers here are, not great. To be honest, they're pretty brutal. After 25 hours, I made just $45. That's an hourly rate of $1.80. And a lot of that time was just wasted getting screened out of surveys I'd already spent 5 minutes on. So frustrating. So the takeaway here is all about perspective. This is not going to replace your income. It's just a way to turn truly dead time, like you're sitting in the waiting room at the dentist, into a tiny bit of pocket change. But you have to ask yourself, could that time be better spent learning a skill with way higher potential? Now for something completely different, and I gotta say, a whole lot more fun. Pet sitting and dog walking. You can take your love for animals and turn it into a real paycheck using apps like Rover or even just by posting in your local community groups.
And this was the biggest surprise of the entire experiment. I mean, just look at that hourly rate, over $22 an hour. By mixing in some dog walks with a couple of overnight stays, the return on my time was fantastic. Seriously, if you love animals, this is an incredibly rewarding and profitable option.
Okay, on to our final hustle,
the treasure hunt, otherwise known as thrift flipping. The game here is simple. You find things that are undervalued at places like thrift stores or garage sales, and then you resell them online for profit.
This one's a little more complex. So I spent about $400 on the actual items and on fees to make $700 in sales. That left a net profit of $300. Now that hourly rate looks low, but it includes all the time I spent hunting for items, taking photos, listing them, and shipping them out. And some of the things I bought haven't even sold yet. Success here is all about knowing what people want to buy. So, we've seen the numbers, we've seen the data, but what does all of this really mean? Because this is about so much more than just the cash.
When you line up the top 3 like this, it's a real aha moment, isn't it? Pet sitting was the clear winner for immediate hourly return. Freelance writing and food delivery were right there behind it. This just makes it so clear where you can get the biggest bang for your buck, time-wise.
But really, the goal here isn't just a higher hourly rate. It's about what that money actually gives you. It's about building a defense against financial emergencies. It's about giving yourself the incredible power of choice. It's about reclaiming power over your own life and unlocking skills you never even knew you had.
If you take away just one single thing from all of this, please let it be this. The moment you earn your first dollar from a side hustle, you are no longer at the mercy of a single paycheck. That mental freedom, you just can't put a price on it.
Okay, by now you might be feeling pretty inspired, but maybe also a little bit overwhelmed. That is totally normal. So let's make this next part incredibly simple.
Don't try to do everything at once. That's a recipe for burnout. Just pick one thing from this list or any other idea you have that genuinely sounds kind of fun or interesting to you. Then just commit to a tiny amount of time, say 5 hours this week. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is just to start. It's all about momentum.
Every single big life change starts with one small, courageous action. You've got the data now. You've seen the possibilities. The only question left is, what's your first step going to be?